Live from the City of Angels, it is Sunday morning. You know what that means? It means breaking box office. We had two debuts this weekend. One was a hell of a lot stronger than the other. The first, Despicable Me 4, ends up with a $122.6 million 5-day debut. It is about $75 million for the 3-day. Remember, this opened back on Wednesday, so you get that 5-day 4th of July weekend. And also tomorrow will probably be a big day for the movies. A lot of people take Monday off in addition to those extra days for the 4th. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the email directly from Universal here Sunday morning. Thanks for joining this breaking box office. As always, we have the numbers first, and we will break down everything you need to know as we get into it here with the film now at $230 million total through the entire globe, right across the globe. This film opened a few weeks ago. Slowly, Universal rolled this out overseas, and then finally we get it here stateside with this big $122.6 million 5-day debut. Let's talk about what happened here with this film. You're looking at every one of these films, from Despicable Me to Minions, the entire franchise, every one of them is open number one domestic. That is pretty impressive, right? With the number one opening of DM4, I'm just going to call it that. It's easier to say. Franchise now holds the most number one openings for an animated franchise all time as it takes out Shrek. Also, this becomes the highest July 4th opening weekend since Minions Rise of Gru back in 2022. And remember, last year it was the Dial of Disaster. And it was just that, wasn't it? Look at this. Holds three of the top five highest grossing 3-day July 4th opening day weekends. The franchise does Minions Rise of Gru, Despicable Me 2, and now DM4. Interesting. Let's talk about just quickly the difference between this and Rise of Gru going back 2 years. Rise of Gru was 107 on the 4th of July opening weekend, that 3-day. Despicable Me 4 at 75. It does matter when the 4th falls. I want to say the 4th was on a Friday that day. It might have been on a Thursday. It changes, right? If the 4th is on a different day, this year, obviously the Thursday, you're talking about a situation where you're able to bank more money when it comes to that 3-day. But it's the 12th Illumination film to open number one domestically. Universal, 4 of the top 10 highest grossing animated franchises all time. Despicable Me, Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and Madagascar. Internationally, 52 additional markets, including Mexico, Spain, Brazil, 73 total markets on this. Now we're looking at $107 million. That is all in globally for this film. Mexico, the top international market, grossing 12.6 across 4,000 plus screens. Brazil, 4th biggest animated opening all time, and the biggest animated opening of the franchise. And Poland surpassed the lifetimes the first 2 Despicable Me films in its opening weekend. So film's off to a great start. Listen, it's going to be affected, as we know, by Inside Out 2 as we switch to that here as we talk about it now at $1.2 billion, straight to the Disney email from Universal to Disney here Sunday morning, breaking box office. Thanks for being here. Give me a like, subscribe if you have not. If you're watching on X, we are available all the time, the replays on the YouTube channel, Midnight Movie Talk. So here we go. After 4 weekends, Inside Out 2 has grossed $1.216 billion. That is 533.8 domestic, 683.1 international. We now see this past Minions. It is the 5th animated biggest all-time globally, this film now. Still climbing. Only 11 animated titles have now crossed 1 billion, and Walt Disney Animation / Pixar account for 8 of those. Frozen 2, Frozen, Incredibles 2, Inside Out 2, Toy Story 4, Toy Story 3, and Finding Dory, and also Zootopia. When are we getting to Zootopia 2? It's been forever. Like, that feels like that should have happened by now. What? Wake up over there down the street here at the Mouse House. All right, back to more of what this film is doing. Remains the number 3 animated release all-time stateside, highest grossing movie of 2024 to date. This weekend overseas saw Inside Out 2 pass Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, and Toy Story 3, the number 10 animated release all-time internationally. I know that's strange, right? We're breaking down domestic, international, plus the global. So there's 3 different things we're talking about here. So bottom line is, guys, we're at $1.2 billion with this film, and it still is doing crazy business here in its fourth weekend. I mean, just look at this. Domestically, $30 million this weekend stateside. International, $78.3 million. On the overseas cash, just this weekend alone, $108.3 million this weekend alone. It does affect how the Despicable Me 4 is going to open because obviously it's a head-to-head situation. The good news is here, as we look at these numbers, there's enough oxygen in the marketplace to support two big, massive animated films, and that's great news as we get ready to crank things up over the next several weekends. Next weekend is going to be a little quiet. I think Longlegs for sure will outperform. You're seeing that. A lot of interest in that. We have the reaction for you on the Midnight Movie Talk channel if you want to check that out, spoiler free. That's going to do well next weekend. And then you're looking at Twisters coming in and doing massive damage to the marketplace. That's going to be the surprise sleeper hit of the summer. Some of you are saying, well, I mean, we knew that it's the sequel to Twister, a successful film. People love it. No, guys, I'm talking about something much bigger than just a little bit of an outperform. I'm talking about a really big number off of Twisters. Get ready for that coming up. We do have to talk about, this was very disappointing. There's no way to spin this. Well, actually, there is a way to spin it if you're A24. Back to the email directly from A24, we talk about Maxine. This film only debuted with $6.7 million. Guys, I don't care how you want to spin things. When you come into MMT, we don't do that. We are objective, and this $6.7 million is really bad. This is a film, I understand it's a cult franchise. They promoted the shit out of this film. This is everywhere in LA. There are billboards everywhere. There are ads on YouTube. There's stuff. I mean, you can't miss Maxine. The fact this came out, debut weekend, $6.7 million. Now, why did I say A24 is going to try to spin it? Look here. It outperformed X by 57%. Well, guess what? X only debuted with what was the number? It's like 4.2 or something. I mean, when you open at 4.2 and you go to 6.7, guess what? That's 57% up. But 57% of nothing is nothing. You see, this is why you guys got to pay attention. When you look at any kind of entity out there spinning numbers saying it's up 50%, well, guess what? If you have two cases and then all of a sudden you have three, it's up 50%. You went up one, but it's up 50%. Do you understand? We get numbers, right? That's why you guys watch MMT. There's no spinning here. I'm not Bill O'Reilly, but this is the new no spin zone. We don't play that shit. And this is terrible. Guys, I'm going to go further. Maxine at 6.7 is as bad as you could ever hope for a film that they pushed hard. You guys know I do not like this film. I love X. I love Pearl. What a horrendous way to end this trilogy. I mean, that final act of this film, go back and watch the reaction, might be the worst written, overwritten, absurdly written final act ever, certainly for an end of a trilogy. This is bad. We're not going to get another Maxine, not this money. I mean, unless Ty wants to fund it himself. Although, you know what? Let me backtrack. Let me roll that back. I apologize. Let me just erase everything I just said. It's A24. A24 will give him a bunch. Remember, they gave Ari Aster $35 million for the hunk of crap that is Beau is Afraid. No, listen, we're objective. That film's terrible. Okay. We're allowed to be subjective and objective at the same time and be very fair by calling Beau is Afraid unwatchable. They gave him $35 million for that. So Maxine here not doing well. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go ahead and give them more cash. Let's go to here, Ty. Here's 15, 20 million. Go make another Maxine, because clearly there's a huge appetite for this. And again, guys, I love X and Pearl. Do not love Maxine hugely. God, it might be the most disappointing film ever for me, considering where I wanted that film to go and what I wanted it to be, and then how it finishes. Like, oh my God, Ty, someone's got to get to these directors before they write this shit and say, this isn't good, dude. This isn't good. We talked about it before. Okay, this is breaking box office. We'll save this for tonight on the big show. Quiet Place Day 1 down 60% in weekend number 2. That's bad, right? You guys, this isn't a good film either. Okay, this is Quiet Place Day 1 is another underwhelming conclusion. It's not even a conclusion to a trilogy, right? It's going to keep going. But right, prequel, sequel, however you want to stack these things with X and Pearl, same thing. This is not a good film either. Down 60%, although right now worldwide it's at $178.2 million. So that's successful, right? It's definitely not bomb like Horizon that was down another 50% this weekend. I'll show you that number in just a minute. But this film is doing okay. Okay, it's for what it is. It's fine, but again, down 60%. It's bad. Bad Boys, $360 million worldwide on that. And also want to mention this I'm a big fan of this film. It's Kinds of Kindness, but it is not faring well. $935 per screen. Remember, we talk about that per screen average. That's how you really tell how a film performed, not just in New York, LA, everywhere, right? The average of every screen that it's showing in every state is only $935. This is not going to be nearly, not even one 20th as big as Poor Things. All right, let's go to the top to 10. I almost said top 20 box office. No, let's do top 10, and then we're back tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the best films of 2024 thus far. We're halfway through the year, so let's do that. Here we go. Top 10 box office. Number 1, Despicable Me 4 with $75 million 3-day, 122.65 day. Average per location, 17,000. Remember, when we look at that number, that tells you how successful the film was. How was each individual screen? 17K on that. Inside Out 2, still at 8,000 per screen, which is insane 4 weeks in. $533 million stateside alone, $1.2 billion worldwide. As A Quiet Place down 60% at $94 million here stateside. Maxine hugely just, oh my God. I mean, I'm not going to call it a bomb, but it's close. Guys, Maxine is this close to being called a bomb. Like, if we wanted to, we could, and it would be totally fair. Because it opened at 2,450 locations. It averaged $2,700 per location. That's not great. Okay, I just said Despicable Me 4 was at 17,000 per. Maxine at 2,700, right? 1/8-ish of the money. So Maxine is that close to a bomb. If you call it a bomb, it's okay. You're allowed. A24 won't call it a bomb. They'll say it's 57% bigger than X. It made $2 million more opening weekend, but 57% bigger. Bad Boys is at 177 stateside. Horizon, 22 million. That's Kevin Costner funded over 100 million for, I believe, both of those. If he thinks he's going to make a 3 and a 4, my man's not very bright. I mean, guys, everyone was telling me, oh, Horizon's going to be just fine. It'll keep holding because everyone's going to run out and see it over the 4th. Minus 50%. If everyone was running out to see Horizon, one of the worst films of the century. The century started in 2000, by the way. We're in a new century. In 24 years, Horizon's one of the worst films that I've seen. I mean, what a structureless disaster. I mean, here, let's just have a random group come in here, and we'll have some bad dialogue and goofy performances, and it's bad, man. Listen, guys, when you start recommending movies like Horizon, it's over. It's over. So watch what you do. As much as a patriot as you want to be, by the way, some love for the red, white, and blue jersey. Wait till you see tonight. Tonight's is the ultimate patriotic July 4th as we cap this weekend outfit tonight on the big show, Top Films of 2024. Horizon, man, that movie sucked ass. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. Can I just make fun of that title for a minute? Even if just get rid of the story of Possum Trot. Just call it Sound of Hope. I know it's from the same studio that brought us Sound of Freedom, but you had success with Sound of Freedom. So just call it Sound Sound of Possum Trot. $6.8 million debut, but only $1,400 per screen. Remember, guys, we talk about the locations. We're smarter than the other guys. Grace Randolph can't even compete. If Grace Randolph was in the live stream with me, she'd get knocked out in one punch. I wouldn't punch a woman, but you know what I'm saying. Kaiki. I haven't seen it. Is it Kalki? I'm sorry, guys. I have not seen it. I know a lot of you want me to see this film. The problem is it's long. I don't like 3-hour films unless it's Tar and Wolf of Wall Street and Endgame. Those are fine. The rest of the 3-hour films, I say no to. I mean, I'll see them. Guys, I see them. I can still bitch about them, though. I'm allowed, man. Freedom of speech, bruh. 16 million on Kalki or Kaiki. Bike riders at $19.3 million. And someone said, well, Horizon's doing better than Bike Riders. Yeah, but Bike Riders didn't cost $100 million. Okay. And Bike Riders has been kneecapped by the fact that Focus is going to put it on digital like tomorrow, isn't it? Is it on today? I mean, it's absurd. These new windows, and there's Kinds of Kindness at number 10 with only $935 per screen, guys. This is terrible. Danny, it's the worst of the century. Don't even ask. If I say it and proclaim it as such, it is just that. It's terrible. Horizon, and people are showing their whole ass out there, right? Because the fact that they want to support Costner, they want to support patriotism, the story of America. That's great. And, like we talked about with Sound of Freedom, I want to support the cause, but the movie's not great. Okay, Sound of Freedom's better than Horizon. Still not. Neither of them are good films, not great films. But yet, because we have a world now where your politics are everything, if your film shows the politics that you subscribe to, then the film's great. I see so many of these conservative commentators saying, Horizon, oh my God, you guys, you can't do that. Okay, we'll talk about more tonight. This stream's going to be, this is it. I'm off to the beach again. I'll see you tonight for the best films of the year. But you cannot allow your politics to view whether a film is quality or shit because you think that the politics of the film are strong. Same thing goes for woke, anti-woke. A film could be the wokest thing ever created and still be a strong film, but that doesn't work to the YouTube channels out there that all about ideology and framing everything under whatever lens that they see it through. We don't do that. I just called Maxine a virtual bomb here and Horizon one of the worst films of the year. Those are subjective/objective. I don't have a dog in the fight. We're going to play this how we always do, as fairly, objectively as possible. Try to do the same out there for me. That's all I ask. See you tonight. Best films of 2024 thus far. Coming up tonight, MMT, about 8:15 here in LA. Till then, peace out.